Dancing and the idea of dancing and what it means to do that in the street, in England, in West London.
Yes.
That is huge.
Damn,
that's a big thing. That's
It's a big deal.
You say now you feel empowered.
Yeah.
No, you should. You should feel very empowered, actually.
As a spectacle.
I want to say exactly.
That's like forward ridden back at like just to see. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really,
Yeah. Central C might perform.
Yeah.
And it won't look out of place.
And it won't look out of place.
They'll have an AMA stage.
Pans, calypso, dancehall. The aroma of jerk and music you can feel pumping through your soul. You know it's the one and only Notting Hill Carnival, the biggest street party in Europe when we all come out to play over the final bank holiday weekend of the summer. As we look forward to the Notting Hill Carnival coming back into our lives after the pandemic, it's important to recognise why it's so much more than just a street party. It represents the struggles and triumphs of the Windrush generation who fought to create space for themselves in the UK, and its influence can be felt throughout the music that we all love. Afrobeat, hip-hop, lovers rock, jungle, UK garage, grime, Afro swing. With its fusion of Caribbean, African and American sounds all served with a UK twist, Britain can claim to be black music's most innovative hub. This is Sounds of Black Britain. On this episode, we'll be talking about the past, present and future of Carnival and its legacy in black British musical history. I'll be joined by singer-songwriter and producer Shakka, alongside dancehall-infused songstress Alicai Harley. So let's all start by being vulnerable, being honest, and sharing our first experiences at Carnival. Alicai Harley, do you remember your first experience at Notting Hill Carnival?
I do actually.
Please tell us about it. How many daggers?
Oh my gosh! Do you know what? I feel
Julie,
bad.
I was 16 years old.
Do you know
I
what?
was not daggered by a single soul.
I was. You know what I mean? It's bad. But unfortunately, someone stole my costume that morning. I was so excited.
They stole your costume?
They didn't steal all of it, but they stole the top half. So I had to wear the bottoms, with some little feathers on my and the jumper.
Wait, so you were actually you didn't go to Carnival. You were in the Carnival.
I was in the Carnival.
So you were on a float?
Yes.
Okay, tell us.
I was on a float and they stole. I told you I went there the morning early, and I don't like being early. And I went there early. I didn't make it for Juvet, but I went there, and then they were just couldn't. Everybody else had their stuff in a bag, and my bag was just there with just the knicker and the little feathers. I was fuming. I was fuming, but it was still dope. It was raining crazy that year.
Shouts to
But I
England.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah, no, England.
That's
What? That it was raining or that her costume got stolen?
Her costume got jacked. You put money into that thing.
Do you know how much money it is? I think
They're
it was
not cheap.
At the time, they're more money now, but I think it was 350.
This is Caribbean
That's a lot of
couture.
Yeah.
So what is it, sorry?
Caribbean couture.
I like the way you said couture.
Couture. You know what I mean though, right?
Couture.
Like bespoke pieces made for the people who actually bought it. Like that's
It is.
Oh,
you know?
Alicai, I'm sorry. Well, we actually knew this story because we spoke to your team and we've actually brought you. No, I'm joking.
Do you know how funny that is?
We brought you the original costume.
The original costume.
Please,
from
guys,
when you
bring
were
the costume
16.
in. Thank you. That's mad though that your first time you said, I'm not just going to go, I'm going to be.
I was really.
I am going to
here for
be
it.
Carnival.
Yeah.
And then, so what did you
That's a
do?
very huge deal.
When you're on the float, are you on the float for the whole day?
Yeah, when you are.
So you see your friends going by saying,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to the something
But you
place.
don't care about your friends. What do you mean? You're getting free drinks? Yeah, 16.
She was
Shall I
16.
stop? Shall I stop
She was
talking?
getting
Shall I
free.
stop talking
She was
right now?
getting free soft drinks.
Incriminate yourself as much as you want. You get
She was
me?
getting
Like,
free soft drinks,
big woman.
and she was only daggered by people her age.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
And that's on that. Shakka, tell us about your first ever Notting Hill Carnival experience.
Does it?
Oh, what's going on?
My the one that I was told was like a memorable one for my family was when I woke up singing or dancing. I woke up dancing to the sound of like a sound system speaker, like driving past. I was 3 in my cot, and like it was me, my pops, my mum, and naturally they're like, we have to take our son to the carnival.
So
and
you lived in, for people that don't know, Shakka lived in the carnival route.
I was born and raised in Notting Hill.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Notting Hill. So like that was
So
all I
you've been
knew.
going
Missing the
since-
carnival just didn't make no sense. Like it was just something that we all did. But that's my earliest, experience. I remember when Pulse X got played in a sound system speaker when I was 13 years old. Mangrove Steel Band and Mangrove Community and Restaurant. The Mangrove Restaurant was founded on that road. The studio called Psalm Studios was where Bob Marley recorded Catch a Fire amongst many other albums. A lot of people came through. Ali, Marvin Gaye.
Did you just say Ali?
Muhammad Ali.
No, I know who you're talking about, but it was just the way you said it. Like, that's your mate.
Yeah.
Ali came through.
Man,
I was
like
thinking,
Ali
is he talking about Mixed by Ali from TDE? Or is he
Them
talking about
ones.
Muhammad Ali? Which Ali are
you guys,
you?
this is calm.
Are you Aliing?
I am Alian, unfortunately. He many other people came through because they saw it as like a hub for people who really wanted to work towards making sure that black people in the community just like found a sense of self and also found a sense of equality in the country. And so, you just had a bunch of like-minded individuals coming down to be like, I believe in the same ideology from where I come from.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but in answer to your question, I was free, fam. And like music woke me up.
I love that.
I love that. So
I really
beautiful.
love that.
That's
I
so
can see it in
beautiful.
my head and everything as well.
Notting Hill Carnival is a tale of the strength, resilience, and creativity of black people. We know it as a couple of days of fun in the late summer sun, if we're lucky and it doesn't rain down on us, of course. But the story of Carnival begins in the Caribbean, back in the days when Africans were stolen and taken to the Americas in chains. Its development can be traced to masquerade balls French colonialists held, particularly in Trinidad. Black people weren't allowed to attend these lavish celebrations. So instead, they held their own secret parties, where they made colourful costumes, wore masks, and drew on African dance traditions that subtly mocked their so-called masters. When slavery finally came to an end in Trinidad in 1838, the now free men and women took their raving to the streets, and what we now know as Carnival was born. With soca, calypso, and steel pans at the forefront of its sound, it spread throughout the West Indies.
Arrivals at Tilbury. The Empire Windrush brings to Britain 500 Jamaicans. Many are ex-servicemen who know England. They served this country well. In Jamaica, they couldn't find work. Discouraged but full of hope, they sailed for Britain. Citizens of the British Empire coming to the mother country with good intent.
After the Second World War, the 1948 British Nationality Act meant that anybody born within the empire and its then colonies could become a UK citizen. Caribbean people answered the call to help rebuild Britain in their droves. And while black people's presence in the UK has been documented since Roman times, the newcomers had a profound impact on British society, culture, and history. After the SS Windrush docked in June 1948, around 300,000 people from the Caribbean moved to the UK. By the 1950s, Brixton and Notting Hill had the highest black populations in the country. And while the South London area had a predominantly Jamaican identity, the black residents of West London's Notting Hill were drawn more from islands like Trinidad, Barbados, and St. Kitts, all of whom had traditions of street carnivals. During this same period, a cry went up from the far right to keep Britain white. And it was in this environment that white street gangs, known as Teddy Boys, terrorized their black neighbors. So-called race riots broke out in late summer 1958, both in Notting Hill and the St. Anne's area of Nottingham, with white youths attacking black communities. The violence culminated in the murder of Kelso Cochrane in the West London area. The Antiguan carpenter was stabbed to death by a white gang in May 1959. Nobody was ever charged over his killing. In this frightening, fearful environment, a black woman named Claudia Jones decided things needed to change. Born in Trinidad and raised in New York, Jones founded the UK's first black newspaper, the West Indian Gazette, before organising a Caribbean carnival in 1959 to help foster black solidarity and community cohesion. While it was held indoors in January, Jones is rightfully regarded as the founding mother of carnival in the UK. Inspired by her efforts, a series of events were organised over the following years until we saw the first street parade in Notting Hill in 1966. The rest is history.
So dancing obviously is a huge part of carnival, as you heard from Shakka in his court at 3 years of age.
Dancing.
Costume is another one. Alicai had half a costume at her first carnival,
Yes,
but she made it
correct.
through.
Yeah.
Got a quick dagger and carried on.
Yep.
Music obviously goes without
Is
saying.
there any point where you're going to explain your passion about daggering?
I just find daggering to be such... I was talking to a friend about this the other day. When you look at different cultures, there are certain things that would just make no sense outside of
Yes,
that culture.
yes.
If you don't know what daggering is and you see it, your brain goes into shock.
It discombobulates.
Yeah, it's so
You
true.
might even call the police.
It
Like, it's so
discombobulates.
funny. It's just like, what is happening? So
Like-
to me, that, and we'll get into it more, but dancing and the idea of dancing and what it means to do that in the street,
Yeah.
in England,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
West London.
Yes.
That is huge.
Damn,
That's
that's
a
a
big,
lot.
big thing. That's,
It's a big
You say,
deal.
now you feel empowered.
Yeah, I
No,
feel
you
well
should. You
empowered.
should feel very empowered, actually. Songs as well are a huge part. Like Shakka just said, here in Pulse X, for those who don't know, just do your Googles, man. It's free.
PULSE space X.
X. There's certain songs that growing up, for you to hear them in a space like Carnival, again, in London, in West London specifically.
Yeah.
And there are certain songs that when you hear them in that space, it's mind-blowing.
The speakers are the size of, like, double the size of your body,
Yeah.
first and foremost. You don't have those speakers in your house. You probably haven't got those speakers in your assembly hall at school.
Right.
So all of this is very, like, what's happening to my body right
Yes.
Oh, that's
yeah.
so true.
now. You know?
Yeah.
And it's almost as if you're hearing a song with the intention that the music maker made it, sort of thing. It translates differently in those kind of, and it's open air, and it's almost like you are part of the spectacle now because people are looking out the windows
Yes.
like, what are they doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you are they. And
Yeah.
you're like, we just out here, cuz
Yeah.
like, you didn't organize anything, you didn't petition for none of the buildings to be,
I
you
just
just
turned
rocked
up.
up. You are now synonymous with the
With-
revolution.
yeah. Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And that feeling of being in that space, it never goes away.
One of the most important elements about Notting Hill Carnival, the reason why we've been so sad that it's been gone for 2 years, is we don't get to be around our community.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there aren't many spaces where you can do that. One of the things I want to talk about with you guys, because I think Carnival in 2022 is going to be a shock to a lot of people for many different reasons, but one of them is going to be the type of music that we're going to hear. Because the early days, as you guys would attest to, was calypso, soca, steel bands. It was the West Indian culture, rightly so, was the hub and the sound that people would hear in the streets.
When you say early days,
I say early days. When you say early days, Julie, what specific date
I mean,
are you speaking of?
is there a timestamp that your reference hails from?
Not necessarily a timestamp, but if we think about the origins of Notting Hill Carnival and the music and the style of music,
Yeah.
it was, as much as we sometimes conflate African and West Indian, it still very much was a celebration of West Indian culture. Of
yes.
course, there was African presence there.
Yes.
But the music itself, what you were getting up to and dancing at 3 years old in your cot, was going to be
Calypso. Or dancehall.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
dancehall.
Now, though, in
yeah.
2022, Central C might perform.
Yeah.
And it won't look out of place.
And it won't look out of
Exactly.
place.
They'll have an AMA stage and it won't look out of
So
place.
talk to us about why and how the music has changed through the years at Notting Hill Carnival. What have been some of the, the big moments for you, or some of the things that you're like, actually, this feels different or new to see this kind of music at Notting Hill Carnival, but it obviously fits and it still makes sense. And why do you think that a lot of people are so okay with? Because there are many places where when something changes, especially when it's rooted in such tradition, people are angry about it. But actually, us seeing Amapiano and Central C, I don't know why he's like he's the main person, but us seeing drill, us seeing grime, us see, like some of our biggest artists in the UK don't necessarily make calypso, soca and dancehall.
Yeah.
Of course.
But they still perform at Carnival.
Of course.
So why do you think people have been so open to the music broadening in the way that it has over the years?
I think because that's what Carnival was about originally, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Even though it was like we said, West Indian and it was mainly about community and culture. And I feel like the UK culture, especially the culture in London, it's combined. So I feel like it just goes with the time. It doesn't really seem like an out of place thing because it's still the community. It's still what the community is today.
Right.
I think for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. I feel I'll take it one step further and say that the British, not even the British flag, but the flag of London is a flag that we implicitly recognize when we go on a train or when we go to a club or when we, and so I don't know why my voice got to this decibel, but like, I feel like the thing that...
Can you bring it back up? Or
the thing that I really like about Carnival is... that flag means a lot to me. It means a lot to me because what I see and when I describe the flag, there's no like flag that actually exists. It's not like this is purely just... a feeling, and if I mention to people who come from London and I talk about artists like Subtract or I talk about artists like Sampha or I talk about artists like Skep, I feel like the DNA of London is like a hybrid. It's like a melting pot of many different people. There are like immigrants from many different countries who came there to just exist, and the beauty of that means that you can now see and hear many different interpretations of what bass culture sounds like, or what dancehall sounds like, or what soca sounds like, or what, do you know what I mean? Like the even drill, like if you were to be a scientist and dissect the rhythms of drill, or to dissect the patterns of drill, or to find out, where they come from, we could argue that there's many different places that they come from, but the etymology of that sound is traceable. Like you can go back and say, okay, cool, like
100%.
Like this is a birth child of grime mixed with trap, mixed with dancehall, mixed with soca, mixed with Afro. Do you know what I mean? Like it's but some people may not be able to know it. I think the reason why Notting Hill Carnival for me is so unique is because the sound system culture doesn't necessarily exist in Trinidad. And it doesn't necessarily exist in Dominica or in Antigua or in any of the other islands where the Caribbean carnival is like the popular thing. And I feel like the Jamaican community in London shared the same challenges that other members of the Black diaspora shared in London and in the UK. And so they just hang, they went to a dance and they listened to Lovers Rock together, but that continued in this place where we're like, okay, cool, not only are we celebrating our cultures, but we're also commemorating freedom from slavery. We're commemorating, the freedom to just be our best selves, So yeah, there's a lot of elements there, man. But the melting pot for me is like a huge symbol that just exists in Carnival today for me.
I'm going to come in with a very controversial sentence.
I love controversy.
I didn't like Carnival.
I remember this.
My mom didn't either. It's okay.
And it's so mad when I think about it now, even just in this conversation.
It's okay, you're part of our family. She didn't like
it's
it.
okay, Julie. It's okay. We're not going to kick you out. It's okay. You can still
doesn't.
You can still host the podcast. It's fine. But it's funny because just having this conversation with you guys reminds me about the moment in which that changed. I remember my first carnival, I was 13, and the year before my friends had gone and they were raving about it like it was the greatest thing on earth. And I didn't go because I just, what, is there loads of people on the street? Ugh, that's yucky. Julie's
my
very
mom.
like,
This is my mom.
just want to stay at home and play computer, right, or whatever. So they've gone to Carnival. I'm hearing about it. When they come back from Carnival the same day, oh my gosh, it was amazing. And my friends were Ghanaian, and in my head I thought Carnival was a West Indian thing.
Yes.
So then they said, there's an after party for under whatever it was, 21s, we should all go. And it was in South London. It's just so everybody knows. Me and South London, we don't really get along. I'm from North. So
and
they've
it's
talked it up so much, Carnival. In my head, I'm like, I'll go to the after party because I'm sure there'll be some remnants of what they are talking about and I'll get to experience something because it just sounded amazing. And I went to this after party, and by the time we got all the way to South, they had changed the venue. Because the venue they were going to use was, some kind of South London nonsense had happened. And we ended up in a club with a low ceiling, and the ceiling was sweating. Like there was water coming from the ceiling because it was such a small venue. And I remember wearing a pink dress, which is very unlike me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was great. I'm telling you, it was a last minute, I'm going to this after party because they've made Carnival sound amazing.
For someone who was like very like, I'm not really on South. The journey's going to be mad. Everything.
Shakka, they made it sound amazing. I thought I'd missed the event of the year. year. It was the worst party ever.
Age 14.
I was 13 years old.
You were 13?
It was the worst party ever.
In a pink dress
I
in
had
South.
I'd done the lie that
Is
you shouldn't
anybody
do.
processing what's happening right now?
Julie Adenuga was 13 in a pink dress in South London. Yes, that happened.
Alright, cool.
I told the lie that you told to your parents when you want to stay out late. Oh, I'm staying at so-and-so's house. And they say they're staying at your house and really you're staying at your older friend's house.
Yeah.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
We don't condone it. It was the worst party ever. I said, I hate Carnival. I'm never going. If it's anything like this party, I'm never going to Carnival. The next year came round and I thought, let me give it a try. I went and immediately I got stuck in a queue of people walking.
Yep.
Right? Because
Yep.
that's what happens when you go to Notting Hill Carnival.
Yep.
You're just stuck in a queue.
Roadblock.
It's the longest queue of all time. And you realise you're not even queuing for anything.
You're not even queuing. That's what you realise.
You just realise that, you should just dance where you are because
That's it.
you're not actually going anywhere. You're not queuing for anything. It's a tip for people going to Carnival. You just dance where you are at all times. Then someone, the man them are trying to dance with me and they're trying to move through the queue, but really they're trying to stand behind you. So they give you the, excuse me, and then they just stay there. And you're like, oh, you've tricked me. I get
Why
it now.
did you do that?
Then a kebab skewer that people had discarded onto the floor dug into my foot because I was wearing sandals. And I said, the only things I'm using to get through this carnival, one of them has been damaged by a kebab skewer, yeah? I'm only using my feet to move through this place. So then I said, no more carnival ever for me. I literally didn't go to carnival for maybe another 7 or 8 years. I never went. There was a year that I went, and I remember the reason why I loved it so much. I went with Rinse FM when I was on the station at the time. I was a presenter on the station. And it was the first time I realised what Carnival actually was and how it was a celebration of music.
Yeah.
And it was a celebration of different types of music. It was a celebration of sound systems. It was a celebration of food. It was a celebration of people. And I was kind of sad because I realised how much I'd missed in the years that I hadn't gone. Knowing that Carnival started, was it 1973? Official instruction of...
It could be argued that it started earlier than that.
Yeah.
Why is that, Shaq?
It could be only because, man.
Because they're saying 65, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the mix.
I love that there's rumours going around that. It's like, it's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
No, because
Rumour has it.
obviously, chime in whenever you get
Yeah.
me. There's a gentleman by the name of Leslie Palmer, and he's one of the founders of Carnival.
Yeah.
He's one of the Mangrove 9. Mangrove 9 are like one of the people who did many different things for Mangrove and also for the community in Notting Hill. And yeah, like there's like an old flyer from like the mid 60s with like Notting Hill Carnival, like come here, meet this
is
person.
it?
Yeah, so it's in theory it's
one of those
documented.
things,
Like
yeah. I think it's agreed that it's more. I like the fact that you said that one of the founders, because it's
Yes.
quite a lot of different people
Yes.
that kind of started
Yes,
Carnival. And
yes,
you
yes,
can
yes.
imagine though, it had to be a community thing for it to
It wasn't
to
just one
come
person
together
who
like
said,
that. Yeah,
we should do this thing.
exactly.
Yeah,
A lot
absolutely.
of things had to converge in order for this to stay alive.
stay alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Let
take
alone just exist and happen. Like,
Yeah,
it's mad.
100%.
It's
But
mad.
for me, realizing that how many years went into Carnival and the year that I ended up going, I started to think back and think, okay, there was one kebab skewer and it was painful. But actually thinking about, like you guys just said, how much had to go into making something that, if we tried to do it today, would be shut down before we even got
That's
to
right. That's right.
got to number 10 Downing
right.
Street.
That's
There's
right.
no way. Like,
That's right.
Speak to what it means to our parents, to the younger generation, to our generation and our peers. For both of you, what does Carnival mean to you?
I feel at home at Carnival. I really feel at home, and this is not just like at home, like I feel like I'm in Jamaica. I mean, like I really feel at home. I really feel like I'm accepted. Like it's not that you're trying to be accepted, but like
I know exactly
You
what
just
you
feel
mean,
like
Yeah.
you feel wow, like you got away with everything with your bridges. That's it. You know, like you kept a block party. Every time I go to Carnival, that's what I feel like. I feel like we just kept a block party and ha ha ha, we're getting away with it.
Yeah. Nah,
And I
there's
feel like
so
that's
much
what it
truth in that.
was.
There's so much truth in that. Remember I was talking about the whole spectacle thing and you were just in the center
Yeah,
and like no one can chat to
exactly.
you. It's that.
Yeah,
It's
that's how you
definitely
feel.
that. There's something celebratory about that, man.
That's
I
how you feel. And I feel like as well, the people that did create Carnival, that was the whole feeling. It was, we're doing this thing and ha ha ha.
Yes.
And I feel like
Yes.
we've always had that thing as black people. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
Just
lie.
getting away with it. Because they didn't
Yeah.
have permission.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Right.
And I feel like there's still a sense of, even though we have permission,
Yeah.
feels like we don't. And I like that. I like that a lot.
I definitely identify with that. I echo
Yeah.
that. I feel like, should I ask for permission as an inhabitant of that society,
Yeah.
as a contributor of the society?
Yeah.
Like there was conversations about like people who either live there as a tenant or who own houses over there, making complaints about the fact that the carnival's there.
Exactly.
They kind of moved in at a time when Notting Hill established itself as like a cultural hub for people to come to. So it's attractive.
Yeah.
Like you knew what Notting Hill was before you came.
Yeah.
So you wanted to become synonymous
There
with the hype. It's a bit weird to me for those same people to have something to say about such an integral piece that is essentially part of the identity of Notting Hill.
Yes. Exactly.
To speak on that and you're a newcomer is a bit weird for me. The passion for Notting Hill Carnival and what it speaks or how it speaks to the passion that my parents share.
Exactly.
It's similar to yours because like they're you guys can't do nothing to me. That comes from the 70s where they were told that we can do everything to you.
Yeah, exactly.
We can shut down your restaurant, you can't tell us nothing.
Yeah.
We can shut down your dances, you can't tell us nothing. You're not allowed to live in this particular area, but you can live in this area.
Yeah.
So for decades, like my dad, friends of my dad, many different people were on the tail end of abuse in the midst of just trying to fight for being normal.
Yeah.
There's like a mini doc like decades back when my dad was like, the Greeks have their spot, the Turks have their spot, this community has their spot, where is ours?
Yeah.
And again, the carnival is like an element of their culture that has stood the test of time, and it's also essentially just, you know, a big black power fist to the face.
Say, not just to the test of time, but also I find that in a lot of communities, I can only speak to London specifically because that's where I grew up, but in a lot of communities, African communities and West Indian communities are the only few that allow other people into their cultural celebrations. My friends would always tell me, I'm going Turkish school today.
Yes.
Or Saturday I got to go to Turkish school.
Yes.
My Greek friends or my Greek Cypriot friends, my Turkish Cypriot friends, they have their own spaces,
Yes.
right?
And it's not as inclusive.
My East Asian friends have their own spaces, but we were never welcomed into them. Whereas I find Nigerian, Ghanaian, Jamaican, St. Lucian, we allow people in.
Yeah.
Because we could have had Notting Hill Carnival and said, but it's just for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's not hard to what's the word? To segregate or to alienate or to ostracize.
Right.
You could just be like, yo, these are the bars that we've got carnival for.
Right, yep.
These are the spots
You
that
need
we're
a ticket
allowed.
to come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You need a Caribbean representative to come with you at all times kind of thing.
But actually, I say we
Fam.
you need a black friend to come to this party.
I mean, hey.
To all my Turkish friends are like, yeah, come with me, we're going carnival.
Yeah.
Like,
fam.
I'm your entrance in. But it's like, but
AAA.
it could be that because there are members clubs that are. I know
Exactly.
a lot of my Turkish friends who have Turkish members clubs.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Exactly.
but I just think there's beauty in the fact that we celebrate our culture. West Indian people were celebrating their culture and not only opened it up to different parts of Africa, but they opened it up to London. To England.
Yeah.
They said, we're going to be in the street and you guys, we're welcoming you.
Yeah.
I remember it became a thing after every Notting Hill Carnival that there would be something in the paper about all of the negative things that happened.
Yeah.
Do you think that impacted Carnival negatively? Did either of you see anything that you, after a while, you were like, the powers that be are really trying to crack down on this celebration?
I think it impacted on the people reading the papers. Yes, the people that didn't go to Carnival. And that's why I mentioned earlier. You know, when you said you didn't like Carnival, I said my mum doesn't like Carnival. She's like, too much people, too much things I go on, and it's like that's what she said. She's like, and it's like, but she's never been, you know, and so the people that are reading the papers, it did it. That's what it does. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what press is for. You know, that's what it's gonna do. It did do what it's gonna do, but at the same time, it didn't. It's not going to take away from how much people. We didn't lose nobody.
Not at all.
Honestly,
I think defamation of character was something that had been happening since the 70s. Again,
exactly.
Yeah.
Without trying to be like a history teacher on the thing, like
I love it.
It's very much.
I love it. Please.
It can be alluded that this kind of defamation of a community had always been in existence.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But like I feel like. Just like you say, I don't think it can affect it. If anything, it forces the conversation to be had. Like I remember like numbers being broadcast on like the front page of like papers like the Evening Standard and Times and stuff, and there'll be like this many people arrested or this many people unfortunately harmed, and like it to me was what's the word? Like ridiculous on gargantuan proportions, because you've got like festivals with similar numbers where similar things are happening, but they don't get the same acknowledgement or broadcasting. And so you kind of just have to like have a sense of independent thought with all of that kind of stuff and be
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. If this happens on this paper, does it happen anywhere else? And
Right.
and is it reason enough for me not to go?
Yeah.
You know, because you have to question, am I making the same risks by going to any of
To
the other
any
spots?
Exactly.
festival or
fam.
where there's a gathering of people.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
But one thing I do love is the fact that we're now in Spotify studios having this conversation about
Wow.
the health of carnival. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that in itself is like is a win for me. You know?
Yeah.
Coming up, we're going to look at the legacy of Carnival in Britain and its future. This is Sounds of Black Britain. The Notting Hill Carnival has grown from a small Caribbean procession to the biggest street party in Europe, attracting 2.5 million people to West London every year and having grown to incorporate almost every musical genre. Carnival helped revolutionise British music, raving, and popular culture. We're asking, what does Carnival mean in the UK scene now? And what does the future hold?
Let's talk about the meaning and legacy of Carnival.
Yes.
I'm just going to straight off. In
21 and
2020 and 2021, yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to you guys? Describe the feeling that you got. Because 2020, we knew there was going to be no Carnival. We were on lockdown.
Yeah.
There were crazy things going on.
Yeah.
We had no idea what the future was for life.
Yeah.
2021, it was easing up. We thought there was going to be a Notting Hill Carnival.
Yeah.
We were ready to get back out in the streets again.
Someone came and stumped on my heart.
And then someone came and said no. Can we just paint a picture for where you guys were, what you felt, what were some of the emotions that you guys went through?
There's never really like one location where I discovered Carnival's gonna. It's
Yeah.
always in conversation.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm always going back and forth with my boys, just being like, all right, so like, what are we thinking, guys? Do you think it's on? Do you think it's not on? And then we
Right.
just
Yeah,
unpack.
that's exactly. Yep.
You know what I
I
mean?
thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke.
Do you know
I
how
thought it
deep
was a
this
joke.
thing is
I thought
about
it was
we
a joke.
unpack? Yeah, we have to unpack.
I said we unpacked.
So guys, how are we
Get
going to
emotional.
process it if we don't get to chip on the road? Like that's
Yeah.
a big deal.
Yeah, no.
If we're not chipping, something's wrong. So we need to find some kind of alternatives. What's the contingency plan, guys? Like we need to, you know, that's I don't know how it felt for you.
That's literally exactly the same. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like I was sat in one place. It was literally a conversation. It was more back and forth online, and then I'll get a call. I think I probably got a call from Rush as well. Rush is like, I can't believe they've taken it away. Carnival is Rush's my manager, by the way, guys. Rush, Carnival's everything for Rush. She just waits the whole year for Carnival to come. No, I'm so serious. She'll tell you. I'm so serious. I genuinely thought 2021. I thought we were gonna have Carnival. I really did. I
thought we were gonna have
I
Carnival.
thought everyone was just chatting rubbish. It's when I saw. I think I went to go search on Google, and I think it actually didn't come up.
Yes.
You know, like how you go and search what day is Carnival.
That's right.
And I went and searched on Google, and it just wasn't there. I feel like it even said cancelled. It wasn't there. I was like,
But do you know why that's
No,
funny?
it's
Because
the delivery.
everything is on Google.
It's the delivery.
No, but like even if you search something, like what can you search on Google and it doesn't like you know something's really not happening when it's not coming up
Google.
on the biggest search engine of the world.
John Wick 4, Frank Ocean's fourth album.
Frank Ocean's Love Album, Dr. Dre's,
Dr.
new,
Dre's.
yeah.
Like that,
There's-
if
yeah,
there's
there's-
no date, it don't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
exist.
pain. That is pain. I remember seeing the
Yeah.
official statement from Notting Hill Carnival,
Yeah.
and I thought, wow, it's really not happening.
Yeah.
And I think it was in that moment as well. I realized the magnitude of.
Yes.
People fly in from other countries to
That's
go to
right.
Notting Hill Carnival. It's not,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not like a call your friend down the road. This is
Christmas.
I can only imagine.
They should have that in Google.
Yeah.
The
What, it's
Caribbean
like a-
Christmas.
But I can only imagine what that felt
Yeah.
like for the rest of the country/world, because that was the moment that we really, not just that we wanted to go to Carnival, but we all wanted to be together again.
There you go. That was it. I
It
don't
was
think it was
huge.
even just about going to Carnival. It was literally that community,
We had
us
been-
all being together. What Carnival started for,
Yeah.
it was that was missing. That was missing completely. We didn't have a connection. Everybody was just finding different places to be, but there was not that place that we
Yeah.
were all gonna be at. And I
Be
think that's what was
together, yeah.
missing. Yeah,
Yeah.
togetherness.
And I think that's what this year is going to be.
Exactly.
It's going to be loads of
It's
loads
gonna
of
be-
Yo.
like non-stop the whole time
Yo.
you're there. It's going to be like
It's true.
I
man.
have not
really
seen you, my guy.
It is.
It really is.
It's
and
all
it's
of
the
that.
songs. I can't. There's
It's
so
all
much
of
songs
that.
that have happened.
This is
what
like-
song-
this
what
is like
songs
the
do you think?
meeting
Okay,
point.
let's do this. What songs do you think are gonna go crazy at Carnival? Just give us a couple.
Pass Salute frontline.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's going to demolish the whole road.
That hasn't seen Carnival.
It hasn't seen Carnival once.
And that's another thing. Some songs haven't seen Carnival at all since they came out.
A lot.
Do you know
Family
what?
by Back G.
Say again?
Family by Back G.
Yeah.
That's going to be an earthquake.
Just so anyone listening.
And again, I'm not mentioning like soca songs.
No, he's not. He's actually not. He's mentioning real hood roadman tunes. Can I just if possible, can we please just get a J Hus float? Because Hus's album Big Conspiracy came out January 2020, right?
Yeah.
Didn't see Carnival, but Play with Burna Boy.
But it must be. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Needs to see Carnival.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
What else? Alicai, go on, give me a couple.
Do you know what? Is it mad that have you seen the state of her body? Mad.
Body? The remix or the original?
No, the remix. Have you
the
seen the
remix.
state of her body? Mad.
Yeah.
I want to see that happening.
Yeah. As a spectacle.
I want to see exactly.
That's like forward ridden back at like
You see
just
the
to
state
see.
of her body?
You get me?
Mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
Body at Carnival's gonna be crazy.
That has to go off.
What else is gonna go?
That has to go off.
What's going
There's a lot
off?
of songs. There's a lot of songs.
Burna Boy's got a lot of tunes that are gonna go off.
Oh,
Burna Boy has
Last
a lot of
Laugh's gonna
songs.
go off. Songbar's gonna go off the remix.
Last Laugh is probably
Last
going to make
Laugh-
a lot of people cry.
that's gonna.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
What? What?
Nah, Last Laugh's the other week.
That's all I'm hearing in my head. And then I'm hearing... Like, yo.
It's gonna go off. No.
Skilly Bang. Skilly Bang. Hey.
Somebody get Skilly Bang to Carnival, please.
Hey.
Guys.
There's a lot.
It's gonna be crazy.
There's a lot.
Ooh.
There's a lot.
It's gonna be mad.
There's a lot.
We talk about the different genres of music that have been introduced to Carnival over the years. I do want to see what that next bit looks like.
So do I.
This will
Because
be
there's
it.
a whole new generation of not kids, but of kids that need to be introduced to Carnival.
Yeah.
There's I feel that the world is a lot more connected now after the pandemic. And so there are a lot of people from around the world who, even though we said people flying for Carnival, I think there's more people that really understand the depth of what this is.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the next thing is. I know they spoke about moving it to Hyde Park and all this other stuff. I wonder what
They've been doing that for years, though, to be honest, and I don't think it's going to fly.
They need to chill.
I'm sorry, what was that in English?
They need to chill out.
they need to chill.
out.
I heard them
Take
to
a seat.
chill.
Take a seat.
Take a seat.
Yeah, they need to take a seat. That loses the whole situation.
Oh, of course,
They
of
obviously
course.
don't understand Carnival. You know, at
Yeah,
that point we're
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
move
yeah.
it. You know.
What do you think it is? Why? Tell us why. What does Carnival lose if it moves to Hyde Park or wherever, somewhere that's got a fence closed in, whatever?
It loses one of the biggest aspects of Carnival, which is the float and the procession.
Yeah.
Now, in theory, you can take all the grass out of a big section of Hyde Park and you could be like, all right, cool, let's just pave it with some kind of
It's a festival.
material that can withstand wheels from a truck. Cool, congrats. We've logistically sorted how to port Carnival from Notting Hill to Hyde Park.
Yeah.
And if you do that, cool, you will get the feeling of being on a float. The procession in the streets is akin to the procession in the streets in the Caribbean. There is beauty in that, but there's also, again, I hate to keep overusing this word, but symbolism is a huge thing. And the symbolism of this float, of saying that, yo, it's a spectacle and we get to see this and we get to see it in its full glory, essentially symbolizes seeing black culture in its full glory. We're not hiding, we're right outside your doorstep.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not in
That
a park.
that takes it away, yeah.
We're not alienated. We are part of this culture in the same way that you are.
And we have
it
a
ties
right
back
to be a part of
And
it.
we have a right to it.
Exactly. I don't want to. I feel like if we do that, it becomes festival vibes. Like just
Exactly.
any old festival.
And
do you know what I
it's you know what I mean? Like I'm not mad against a Caribbean festival. In fact, I
know,
love
if you
Caribbean
guys want to do that,
festivals.
please.
Let's do it.
What do you think people making those suggestions says about where and how far black British culture has come?
I think it's just still not trying to really respect it, isn't it? Still not trying to respect the whole reason. Because I feel like, especially the people who would have created Carnival, if they were to speak on it, they would be irritated. It would be,
Of course.
you know what I mean? You're still coming to do the same thing that you were doing years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. That's all they're trying to
Precisely.
do. You probably just present it in a cute way. Come on, we'll give you Hyde Park. Come on, have Hyde Park.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's just gonna be any old festival. You're
Of
gonna take
course.
it all away, and it's not the same. We can't. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be digitalized. It's gonna say Notting Hill Carnival on
Yeah.
like digital screens. That is what's gonna
We
happen.
don't want
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
We
by the
don't
way.
want that. We want it to be, and I think Carnival is one of the only things that kept the culture together. But it's like stayed how it's been from so
course.
years ago. Like
Of course.
it hasn't really changed. You know what I'm trying to say?
When you talk about seeing these different artists together, Boy Better Know, Shakka, Alicai Harley, when you see,
Yes,
it's free.
free.
Like this is not. You know, they put up the lineup to Coachella and people are trying to work out where they're going to get £1,000
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
Oh, I need £1,000. I need the
Tell
ticket
them again.
600. I got to get on a plane.
Tell
I
them
got to
again.
find somewhere
For
to
real.
stay. Carnival is free.
Free.
The most you're paying is the bus ride or the train ride to get there.
Yeah.
And that's it. To think about what you're seeing and what you're experiencing.
That's right.
There's no other place that you're
right.
ever going to be able to experience that. And I think there are many things that people credit Carnival for, but being a space that brings those types of people together.
It's wild.
We say under one roof, but it's under one sky technically. But, you know, being able to walk around and see all those things, it's unmatched.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I wish I would see. I saw a lot more people fight for when you hear about communities or whoever it is asking for Carnival to be moved to Hyde Park or for us to change it or whatever it is for it to be more police. It's like you're trying to stop people from not unionizing but coming together and there being a unity between
Precisely.
London, not between Caribbeans, not between Nigeria, between London.
Exactly.
You're trying to stop that. What is that one song for you that sums up Notting Hill Carnival? You know what's funny? I always do this and I think, oh, what is it?
The song that I've got it for my own personal reasons, and that's because the first year that I went to Carnival, when they stole my outfit, it was raining. So it would be, I don't know the name of the song, Wet, 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 how you feeling? Soak, 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 tell me how you feel, wet, 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 tell me. And it was soaking wet. And I'm not going to, do you know what's crazy? Yeah, I don't know what the name of I thought you were going to know the name of it.
I did think that Shakka would know the name of that as well. I know the song, but I don't know the name.
Wet, wet, tell me how you feel. Because honestly, when you're dancing to that and it's actually pouring with rain, that was the most, when I think of that year at Carnival, by the way, I just fully disgusted at myself, but I would do it again. Like the water, you know, jumping in muddy puddles, Peppa Pig. Yeah, that was me.
You was jumping in muddy puddles?
What do you mean? We're walking and they're just wet everywhere. When it gets wet, and remember that some of the man in me have still got the Juve paint on them.
Oh
so
no, they're
they already don't care. What do you mean they don't care already? They didn't care already. So it's just like wet up the place, and it's like wet, and I just didn't care. I really had a good time though. So yeah, wet, 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 soak, soak, soak. I don't know who sings it.
Okay, now I want two more from you.
I hope it's my
Now I want two more from you. Yeah, go on, give me three. Give me like a top three. So we got wait.
Top
How you
three
think?
feels good.
Yeah, give me a top three. Go on.
It's a challenge for people who don't batter soca on a regular basis, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
What,
but
you think so?
I wasn't gonna say soca.
I mean, we bat. Of course, that's a good point.
I wasn't gonna say soca.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right, let me fall back.
Okay, cool. That's important.
That's a
I'm
big
glad you said that.
question.
Yeah, so this is top three of just your representation of Carnival.
It's kind of hard to choose. One More Wine by Marshall Montana.
How's
Give
that
me
go?
one more wine, one more wine.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Oh,
Just give me that sweet type of love.
Okay.
Sweet type of love. Hold me, darling.
Okay, he's got it.
Oh my God, I want to go to Carnival right now.
Hello.
I love it.
Come on.
Yeah, I feel like he hit the nail on the head with this one.
I want to go Carnival right now.
Yeah, this makes me want to go Carnival right now.
I feel like Shakka's like the original Carnival top three guy.
Yeah.
My top three is like present day, midnight, late 2000s.
Yeah.
Mine's like mine would be follow the it would be Miss Dynamite.
Oh yes. Yes.
But mine would be I don't know if it would be Boo.
Why am I wild?
It might be Never
Boo for me.
Soft.
Never Soft.
Yeah, remember Never Soft?
Remind me of Never Soft again. I'm gonna be wet.
Easy, my Never Soft, you know.
Oh, yeah. There's that.
Have no fear. I don't know why. That's like that to me gives like I can feel going for Carnival when that comes on.
If we're talking about British Carnival, Original Nutter has to be there.
Original Nutter.
Because the sound that starts off is it's a siren. It's a siren.
Like, yeah.
This isn't normal for music.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Yeah, all right, mate. I'm
Fam, what kind of intro is that? It's a British intro.
If I am in Carnival and I hear na ni ni wo na na no wherever I am, it's going off. I'm stepping on kids.
Kids, Julie.
I'm stepping on kids.
Guys, cut the
Everyone's
mics, cut the
getting
cameras.
You better move out the way.
To be fair, in Julie's defense, kids should be nowhere present when that song's
although
dropped.
I do go on the kids' day.
Forward goes off. Forward rhythm definitely goes off.
Yeah, forward rhythm still goes off now.
It still goes off.
Any final words before Carnival tomorrow, guys?
Final words before Carnival. Wow. Drink lots of water.
Yes.
Have a meeting place.
Yeah.
Yes.
A universal meeting place.
Yes.
At any point in the day, just have one.
Yeah.
Even if you have two, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you're rocking with a team of more than 4 people, It will be less than more than 4 people.
Don't rock with a team. Yeah, if you're rocking with a team more, you've lost Carnival.
You've lost Carnival.
Yeah.
You will be separated.
4 max, including you, by the way.
Exactly.
4 max, including you.
Alcohol stamina is a real thing. Likelihood is half of the people that attend this place will probably have never been drinking from 11 o'clock till 6 p.m. the day before. So please bear that in mind before you start trying to attempt to consume 10 cocktails in one day.
Pace yourself, guys. Pace yourself.
Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Don't worry if you don't know all the words to soca music.
Yeah. Just wind your ways.
Just wind your ways. Sometimes you need to exist.
Final thoughts for Carnival tomorrow. Any tips as well would be good.
Any tips? Definitely drink water. Yeah. Definitely bring water and drink water. Drink lots and lots of water. Make sure, don't oversee your drinking tolerance, innit? Know what you can drink because
listen to your body.
Yeah, it's actually definitely that. Everybody have consent. Do you want to stay? Don't be stush. Just get out.
That's probably the best way to describe that.
Do you know what I wanted to say? Because you know what? It's Carnival. And just like what Julie
in a
said,
post-cancel culture world, don't be stush is perfectly
don't be
acceptable.
stush. Don't be stush. No one's got... People can't really comment. They can't cancel you on Twitter for Carnival.
No,
it's Carnival.
You can't. That's actually hilarious.
It's true. The police officers have been getting backed up on for years now.
No, it's true.
Know what I mean?
Every year there's a video of a police officer getting moved.
Without doubt. I can't wait to see the
and
new
he
one.
loves it.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't be stush. I will see you guys tomorrow at Carnival, our meeting point.
See you.
We need to decide what it is.
Definitely.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for this.
I enjoyed you guys' company, man.
This was great. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
In a bit.
Carnival is not just about music, it's a movement. Forged by the power and pride of the Windrush generation, its influence continues to burn bright to this day. Whichever way you look at it, musically, culturally, or politically, it's possibly the most influential event in British cultural history. And you can't say more than that. Thank you to our guests, Shakka and Alicai. It's been a pleasure. Next time on The Sounds of Black Britain, we'll be looking at the influence of the continent as we chart the movements from Afro rock to Afro swing. I'm Julie Adenuga, and this is Sounds of Black Britain. I'll see you soon. The Sounds of Black Britain podcast is brought to you by the Black Curriculum and produced by Unedited. Presented by me, Julie Adenuga. Our executive producer is Andrew Spence. The series producer is Sifa Inchi. Our assistant producers are Akeem Moore-Nickel and Buki Fadipe. This episode was filmed by JJ Gemio. The series is written by Drew Christie. Our sound designer is Tony Onuchukwu.